Hi, I'm Alan Kaplan. I'm an Active Directory administrator for the Department of Veterans Affairs. The problem I had was with the COVID um, pandemic coming, VA had a huge number. We have about half a million employees. Um, so we had a huge number of people who were going to be working from home, and they wanted to scale up the CAG infrastructure. And the people who were scaling up the CAG infrastructure, we had on-prem Citrix Access Gateway. We were spinning it up in Azure, and we were spinning it up in AWS. And they wanted to do stress testing of the new infrastructure. So I got tapped to create test accounts. So I don't know how many people have ever been asked to create 10,000 user accounts. But that was part of my task, create 10,000 users. And one of the things is by default, all the new users in VA have to use a smart card. And if you don't use a smart card, even if it's a test account, there's a minimum password of 14 characters. It's pretty onerous. Because these user accounts were going to be read in using, programmatically, I wanted to create quickly complex passwords. And I have done this a lot of ways before, with lists of letters and things that are available. And I decided to take a minute to think about this. And I came up with a one-liner for going through. By the way, the loop was there was user one, user two. It was just a I plus plus, and it's just creating them down the list. So the only really interesting question is how do you set a password? And we never use the same password twice. So this is the one-liner I came up with, and I'll show you what it looks like, and I'll walk you through. Um, I am not a dev guy. I am a IT administrator. So this is an example of the path. Of course, every time you do it, you get a different answer. What occurred to me is what's a way to get a pretty big set of letters and numbers and characters? And the answer is if you start, right, it is your envelope, right? So we all know that this is the envelope on my computer here. That is my home media center. And my color scheme in VS Code was unreadable, so forgive me for being an ISE. So when you look at this, we got letters and we've got slashes and special characters. So what I've done is I'm getting the path. I'm replacing spaces, right? We have lots of spaces with a tilde. That's to add complexity, and nobody wants a space in the password. When you do get a numerator, now let's see, drop the beginning. When you do get a numerator, you're getting, this is killing me. When you get enumerator, I need to break this up this way. You get one character at a time. So you saw how this gives us a list of letters. You can then pipe it to get random and select however long you want. I chose 15, one more than 14. And the idea for me is I didn't want to fail our complexity test. So we have complexity rules for our passwords, certain number of uppercase, lowercase numbers, and special characters. And if you do it this way for 10,000 instances, you can actually not have sufficient. You can get, all lowercase letters. It's possible, not likely. So I went with an additional letter. So after taking this, right, I am doing the array becomes something like this. F9, run, F8. So you can see now I've got a random array, again, selected from the path. And then you can use join. If you want to join a array without any characters, you just select nothing. And then that's the result. So that's the code I used to create the password for my new user accounts. It was quick. It was easy. In 10,000 users with this, I had 3 passwords fail for complexity. And we just picked them up and did those manually. So it's kind of a quick and easy if you need to do sort of things. Shows you the basics of what get enumerator does, and lets you how to use get random and joining. And that's it.
That sounds pretty cool. That was really interesting. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
That is cool.
Interesting solution.